The Life of Garou, One Punch Man. Garou is a villain, a martial arts prodigy, the self-proclaimed hero hunter, and a major adversary of the Hero Association and Monster Association. He's a former disciple of Bang, but was expelled from his dojo for going on a rampage. Because of his fascination with monsters, he's commonly called the Human Monster. Sitch of the Hero Association views him as a grave threat to the organization despite being only a human. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Garou. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media accounts. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Background. As a child, Garou was unpopular and a social outcast. At school, while he was reading a book, a popular boy named Tachan and another student were playing Heroes. After Garou tried to make Tachan realize it was dangerous to kick another student from high ground, Tachan declared Garou to be the new villain and he himself as Justice Man. He tried to kick Garou, but Garou dodged. Tachan missed and hurt himself, to which Garou apologizes. Tachan asked Garou what he was doing, pointed out that Garou was the monster, and then kicked him in the face while making other kids restrain him. Later, Garou tried to stand up for himself by making Tachan fight him to make him realize that he can't bully him anymore. But the other children gathered around and started defending Tachan, saying it was how the game worked. Tachan then cowardly asked other children to pin Garou to the ground and called the teacher while he ran away. Garou noticed how Tachan was the only one smiling. He was liked by everyone and was good at everything, even though he was a jerk, while Garou was alone, gloomy, and had no friends. When talking to his uncaring and unsympathetic teacher, they ignored Garou and simply lectured him on how he shouldn't be fighting and what might have happened if it had continued. They also reprimanded him for not distinguishing reality and the game. After they were done, they forced the crying Garou to apologize and then notified his parents. Garou eventually snapped and began to see that heroes were nothing more than a bunch of bullies who were preying on the weak and outcasts of society, like him, while receiving praise from other people who equally hated the outcast. On another occasion, Garou watched the Justice Man TV show and rooted for the villains to win, becoming frustrated every time Justice Man came in and stopped them. He asked his father when there would be a villain that could defeat Justice Man, only to hear answers he didn't want to hear. He believed it didn't make sense, as he reasoned that the monsters were the ones who were always trying their best, but no matter what, were always killed off unfairly in the end simply because they were monsters. Unwilling to accept the status quo, Garou resolved to become the strongest monster and never lose, and vowed to change the scenario. Sick of being a helpless kid throughout his childhood, he became determined to be stronger. Because of this, he decided to venture to Bang's dojo during his adolescence, traveling very far to meet the martial artist. When he arrived at the dojo, he rudely demanded to know if Bang was strong. Sourface chimed in and asked who the arrogant child was when Garou passed out from the exhaustion of venturing to the dojo. Sourface asked Bang if he should throw Garou out, but the hero was impressed by Garou's determination, telling Sourface to feed him when he woke up until he was full. After this, Bang accepted Garou as a student, and Garou quickly became the top student in Bang's dojo. 6 months prior to the Super Fight martial arts tournament that Saitama attended, Garou decided that he had nothing left to learn and rampaged through the dojo, disabling many of the students, including Sourface. He then received a beating from Bang and was expelled. After this expulsion, Garou attended the Super Fight, disguising himself as Wolfman after incapacitating the real one and taking his mask. Garou won the tournament, although his true identity remained unknown. Alien Conquerors Arc. Garou was mentioned by Bang after Genos questioned him about his dojo being filled with skilled fighters. Bang revealed that the dojo used to be filled with skilled fighters until his best disciple Garou went on a rampage and disabled them all for life, frightening the rest of his disciples in the process. Because of this, Bang expelled Garou after giving him a beating. Garou Introduction Arc. During a meeting in the Hero Association headquarters, in the middle of a coalition between a large group of villains and the Hero Association, Garou introduces himself as an extremely powerful individual, able to defeat everyone attending the meeting by himself, even if they were to gang up on him. He revealed to the crowd that his attendance was merely to find strong opponents and to punish the cowards. After 3 heroes agree to take him down, Garou reveals that he never really liked heroes, and always supported monsters because he always had sympathy for their ambitions. Garou promises to become the strongest monster and change the scenario, and attacks the 3 A-class heroes borderlining S-class in strength, then proceeds to beat up everyone present with the exception of Sitch and Speed of Sound Sonic, who left in haste. As Garou leaves, he proclaims that this was the epic intro of Garou the Human Monster, and promises to come bursting through the front door of the Hero Association in 6 months' time after his training journey's over, and musing that one day he might fight King, the strongest hero in their ranks, while out on his jaunt. The Blizzard Group Arc. After his rampage at the meeting, it's revealed that Garou has a certain reputation, the title of Human Monster within the Hero Association. However, nobody except Sitch sees him as a threat. Garou later happened to encounter an upper A-class hero, Tank Top Vegetarian, in an empty alleyway. He easily defeats the hero, but is disappointed by the fight. When Tank Top Vegetarian threatens him about messing with heroes, Garou simply knocks him out, proclaiming excitement to fight a monster-class hero. Hero Hunt Arc. Garou later meets C-class hero Moomin Rider and threatens to attack him, but not before Tank Top Vegetarian, whom Garou had beaten and spared last afternoon, calls on his Tank Topper army to exact revenge against Garou. After Tank Top Vegetarian gets knocked out, the S-class hero Tank Top Master appears and punches Garou. Moomin Rider defends Garou from Tank Top Master's attack, but Tank Top Master knows about Garou's evil intentions and the possible threat he poses, and goes for the finishing blow. Garou counterattacks with the special technique Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist and defeats Tank Top Master with ease. Tank Top Master then realizes that Garou was merely holding back. Garou then proceeds to attack all heroes present, including Moomin Rider and Charanko, the bodies of whom are found by Bang and Bomb. Garou later interrupts the conversation between 3 C-class heroes and proceeds to beat them up, because that's just how he rolls, you know. Afterwards, he finds Tadeo, a child with a catalog containing info about the heroes. Garou asks the kid for the catalog, but the kid refuses. However, Garou's interests are piqued once he learns that the catalog also contains information about monsters. He ends up reading through the catalog to find out Golden Ball's location. Garou finds Golden Ball in a bar and challenges him to a fight. Golden Ball eventually accepts and they head towards the parking lot. It's revealed that Golden Ball was putting up an act and begins the fight in an alleyway heading towards the parking lot. Garou dodges Golden Ball's first 2 attacks. Golden Ball initially believes that Garou was able to dodge them due to watching his hand movements and then shoots a shot that ricochets and pierces Garou's leg. Golden Ball, believing that he has the advantage, follows up with Golden Breakout. However, Garou effortlessly dodges all of them, thus refuting Golden Ball's initial thought that Garou used Golden Ball's hand movements to dodge his bullets. In a last-ditch effort, Golden Ball fires one more shot directly at Garou. Unfortunately, the Hero Hunter is able to deflect the final bullet and also redirect the rest of the bullets into themselves, destroying each and every one of them. Before Garou can attack Golden Ball, Spring Mustachio appears and starts swinging in every direction, forcing Garou to jump. Spring Mustachio then initiates his secret move, Tomboy. Garou dodges the attack but is stabbed in his left hand. Garou punches Spring Mustachio, launching Spring Mustachio into several trash cans and crates. He reveals that he knew about Spring Mustachio's secret technique, and that, because of their fights, he is now used to armed combatants. After the fight, he goes on to target Sweet Mask. By chance, he overhears a corrupt officer of the Hero Association using his position and the hero's name to pick up chicks, and proceeds to beat him up in annoyance, because that's actually pretty annoying, man. Irked with dissatisfaction at the official he beat up, Garou ends up running into Saitama, who just happened to be around, shopping for a wig in Garou's vicinity. Thinking Saitama is just a small fry hero who thinks he can make a big name by arresting him, Garou attacks Saitama, sinking his feet into the ground from the impact. Unfazed and annoyed, Saitama delivers a chop of his own to Garou's nape, knocking him unconscious, and continues to purchase his wig. Garou eventually wakes up on a pile of garbage bags and can't seem to remember what had happened. Monster Raid Arc. Garou returns to his hideout, wrapping his injuries and checking the wall of photos of heroes he possibly wants to fight. Garou is later seen talking with Tadeo, the same child with the catalog, and asks him the whereabouts of the S-class hero Watchdog Man, with the intention of fighting him. However, their conversation is interrupted by S-City's alert about demon-level monsters and Metal Bat. Garou tells Tadeo to run while he prepares to meet and fight Metal Bat. Garou arrives at the scene just as Metal Bat is launched hundreds of meters across the city. Initially believing Metal Bat was defeated by Elder Centipede, Garou decides to go after Watchdog Man instead. However, Metal Bat soon gets up and begins heading back to his fight against Elder Centipede. This causes Garou to attack Metal Bat. Garou fights Metal Bat in an empty city and comments that he's disappointed that he isn't able to see Metal Bat's true strength due to Metal Bat's exhaustion from his fight against Elder Centipede. Metal Bat retorts Garou's comment with an attack, but Garou manages to dodge it with ease. Garou's surprised by Metal Bat's persistence, despite Metal Bat's numerous injuries, but insists that Metal Bat is at its limit. Suddenly, Metal Bat rushes to Garou with incredible speed, but Garou still manages to avoid Metal Bat's attacks and attempts to counterattack. However, Garou's attack is no longer able to phase Metal Bat either, and he notes that Metal Bat's speed and attack power have increased drastically. Garou asks Metal Bat for the reason for this sudden increase in physical strength, and Metal Bat simply explains that it's fighting spirit. Metal Bat tells Garou to hurry up with the fight, to which Garou replies that he'll play for a little bit to see just how long Metal Bat can keep up his fighting spirit. Garou throws a manhole cover at Metal Bat, but Metal Bat hits it back with his metal bat, the object he's named after. However, Garou's already managed to reach Metal Bat by the time Metal Bat follows through with his hit. Metal Bat tries to take the offensive, but none of the attacks he deals connects. Garou continues to mock Metal Bat, asking him if he's going to persist until he dies, but Metal Bat retorts by saying he'll fight until he wins and continues to attack. Garou attempts to kick Metal Bat, but Metal Bat deflects the attack and proceeds to initiate a killing move. Fortunately, Garou manages to easily repel the technique and launches a blow to Metal Bat's chest, leaving Metal Bat laying on the ground. Garou dismisses Metal Bat and Tank Top Master as hot-blooded idiots who lack counters to anti-human martial arts. Nevertheless, Garou notes that despite being able to repel all of Metal Bat's attacks, his bones are shaking, and if Metal Bat had hit him even once, it would have ended badly. Metal Bat is about to land a powerful blow on Garou, but stops because he hears his sister's voice. Garou then punches Metal Bat and comments that Metal Bat might have ended the fight if he didn't stop the swing midway. Before the two could continue their battle, Zenko, Metal Bat's sister, jumps in front of Metal Bat and tells Garou the fight's over, simply because her brother promised not to fight in front of her. Although reluctant at first, Garou accepts and then leaves the fight to continue his search for Watchdog Man. While he leaves, Garou is being watched over by Phoenix Man and Sludge Jellyfish, as they discuss that Garou might prove to be of use to them. When Sludge Jellyfish tries to capture Zenko, it's attacked by Garou, stating that he doesn't like being watched. Phoenix Man quickly comes and tells Garou that they're not enemies. Both monsters try to be friendly and invite him to the Monster Association, but Garou turns them down and demands that they leave. The mysterious beings decide to leave and tells him that they will definitely meet later if Garou continues to hero hunt. When the monsters are finally out of sight, Garou simply says, "Disgusting." Super Fight Arc. Garou reaches the Watchdog Plaza to search for Watchdog Man, who he finds sitting on top of what used to be a Monster Association invasion force of many monsters. Garou attempts to attack Watchdog Man while the hero's sitting, but he underestimates Watchdog Man's skills and is quickly overwhelmed by Watchdog Man's fast and powerful attacks to the point that he can't even read his wild and unpredictable movement. All the training he had been through with Bang was never meant to be used to fight monsters, and as a result, all his techniques were countered effortlessly by Watchdog Man. After being severely injured by Watchdog Man, he runs away. Despite the outcome, he feels excited about the battle since he now has experience needed to battle monsters properly and embraces the happiness that he can become stronger. Around this time, he sees King and Saitama and tries to attack King despite his injuries. As he's about to confidently lay a hit on King's body, after reading all of King's possible movements, he fails to notice Saitama. As a result, Saitama sends him flying with a single kick, and he smashes through a wall. Monster Association Arc. After recovering from being knocked into the wall, Garou unintentionally encounters Death Gatling and decides that it's best for him to recover and rest due to his injuries he sustained from Watchdog Man and King, which was really Saitama. As he stumbles away, Death Gatling looks over and spots him. Next, Garou is seen recovering from his injuries in his hideout and re-encounters Tadeo, who explains to Garou that he has to leave the hut. Garou figures Tadeo was bullied into it, so he tells Tadeo that if he wants to stand up to his friends, he has to become strong, which Tadeo already knew. At that moment, Garou sensed that he was surrounded. Garou asks Tadeo for the hero catalog so that he can identify each of the heroes outside his shack. After identifying all of the heroes, he proceeds to exit the shack. Death Gatling tells Garou that they are here to capture him, but Garou responds to Death Gatling and his group, saying that with them, the hero hunt will surpass 100 heroes. Gun quickly opens fire on Garou, but Garou easily dodges and attempts to counterattack. However, he's forced to dodge again because of Stinger's attack. Stinger's attack is quickly followed up with arrow rain from Shooter, which Garou also manages to dodge. Chain and Toad begins the next wave of attacks as Smile Man attacks from above and Wildhorn attacks from behind. Gun manages to land a hit as he tries to attack Wildhorn, and Stinger follows up and manages to cut Garou's arm. Garou notices Glasses' lack of action, but is then hit by Chain and Toad's weapon and attacked by Smile Man again. Chain and Toad uses his ear cutter technique but failed to injure Garou a second time. Smile Man and Chain and Toad proceed to continuously barrage Garou before the human monster has any time to recover. Arrow rain comes down as Smile Man, Chain and Toad, and Gun attack all at once. Despite twisting in the air, Garou is hit by 2 of the arrows. Glasses resupplies Shooter before Garou tries to go after the hero. Glasses manages to dodge Garou's initial attack and lands a hit on Garou as the hero hunter is distracted by the heroes behind him and the pebbles thrown by Glasses. Afterwards, Death Gatling gives Garou one last chance to surrender. As he continues to fight the heroes, flashbacks of his childhood come back to Garou as he remembers all of the villains that were unfairly defeated just because they were outnumbered by the heroes. Chain and Toad attacks Garou with his chain, but to his surprise, Garou manages to intercept the chain, even though the chain was aimed at his blind spot. Smile Man then attacks Garou from behind with his kendama and throws it at him. Garou, however, catches the kendama and redirects it towards Chain and Toad, taking him out of the battle. Gun fires his pistol at Garou, but Garou uses Smile Man's kendama to shield himself from the bullets. Then he propels the kendama towards Gun, knocking him out in the process. The next hero who attacks is Wildhorn, who uses his Pile Bison and destroys the kendama. However, Garou wraps the chain from Chain and Toad around Wildhorn's legs to prevent him from escaping and also preventing Shooter from firing his poisonous arrows. Glasses then throws several pebbles at Garou while he was distracted, but Garou easily catches the pebbles. Taunting Glasses by saying it was just what he needed, he threw the pebbles with blinding speed at Shooter, effectively knocking him unconscious. Stinger attempts to strike him with his Roaring Bamboo Shoot gigantic attack. Garou then runs towards Stinger at full speed, telling him it would be one-on-one, to which Stinger accepts, telling the other heroes to stay out of his way. But just as Garou is going to strike Stinger, he changes his target and hits Smile Man square in the jaw, taking him out of the fight. Next, Death Gatling fires at Garou, to which Garou dodges, all the while running to his next target, Glasses. Garou strikes him with a barrage of punches. Glasses attempts to retaliate with a right punch, but Garou blocks the punch and hits him square in the jaw. A few meters away, Stinger decides to intervene and save Glasses from this torturous onslaught and attacks Garou with his gigantic drill stinger. But Garou expertly intercepts the bamboo and counters with a left punch to Stinger's face, continuing with a consecutive string of blows to his chest. Behind him, Glasses works through the pain and tries to strike him, but Garou nails him hard in the stomach with a right elbow, removing him from the battle. With only Death Gatling remaining, the hero states to Garou he considers him a monster, revoking his previous idea to take him alive and declaring he'll finish him off. Garou tells him not to attack as a child is in the building behind him, but Death Gatling ignores his words. Death Gatling uses his ultimate attack, Death Shower, in which he quickly empties all of his bullets and fires a very quick round of bullets. Alas, Garou manages to intercept all of the bullets, leaving the building behind him still standing. After receiving an emergency call from Glasses, who's with Death Gatling and their group of heroes to ambush Garou and failed, Genos arrives to fight the already extremely weakened Garou. Genos and Garou's fists collide midair, propelling Garou back. Genos follows up his attack with his machine gun blows, giving Garou a tough go of it. Garou retaliates with his water stream rock-smashing fist, but Genos ducks and strikes him with a punch that's propelled by a booster integrated into his elbow. Garou intercepts the attack, then counters with a left knee to Genos' head. The attack sends Genos into the ground and Garou prepares to land the final blow. However, Genos fires an incineration blast, to which Garou just barely manages to evade. Genos gets back up by thrusting himself upward with turbines built on his back, and he intently observes and analyzes Garou's movements. Genos tells Garou to surrender, as Garou's legs are about to give out, but instead Garou jumps up into the trees and changes his movements to mimic that of Watchdog Man. Genos is momentarily caught off guard by this change of battle style, and Garou uses this moment to rip off Genos' right arm. I feel like Genos always loses his arms. What a poor excuse of a cyborg. Alas, Genos' arm is still operational, and the right arm grabs Garou's neck. The arm uses its rocket propeller and slams Garou into a tree, using wires to trap Garou in the process. Genos then taunts Garou, telling him that he's just a thug and not a serious threat to be worth the time to take care of, unlike the Monster Association. Genos then lifts his arm and prepares to fire his incineration blast, but Garou pushes his legs onto the tree and breaks it apart, saving himself from the incineration blast. He then jumps into the roof of the shed and proclaims that the Hero Association doesn't need to look any further since he's the most powerful monster right here and he's not some common thug. Genos prepares another attack, but from the ground, a horde of monsters tunnels out of the ground and they all simultaneously attack Genos to protect Garou, but the monsters are all swiftly defeated. A flower monster appears behind Garou, telling him that the Monster Association has recognized his talent and wants to recruit him into their rank as one of the top executive members. However, due to Garou's lone wolf nature, he coldly rejects the offer and tells the monster to get out of sight. The monster then tries to forcefully capture him to join the ranks because of its order from the Monster Association, but is bisected by Genos' arm blade. After taking care of the monsters, Genos proclaims that he can't be defeated by a surprise attack like this, and he has to follow the teaching of Saitama to become stronger by training both mind and body. As a result, Garou then questions Genos about Saitama, in which he proudly states that Saitama is the mightiest hero that no monsters can hope to surpass. For the third time, Genos readies his incineration cannon, but this time, the one to intervene is none other than Bang and Bomb. Genos is surprised to see them both present, and he proceeds to do battle with the other monsters still flooding out of the hole in the ground. While Bomb and Genos fight off the monsters, Bang stands hovering over Garou, admonishing his weakened and abominable state, and tells Garou to stand up and fight him. Garou does as his former master says, and the two of them ready their stances. Garou lunges for Bang and attempts to attack him with the flowing water rock Streaming Fist, but before he even has time to react, Garou is viciously pummeled by Bang. As he's pummeled rapidly by Bang, Garou tries to counterattack against his former teacher, but his efforts are in vain due to his weakened state and their difference in Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist mastery. He ends up continually being overwhelmed. Knowing that he can't win, he attempts to escape and uses Death Gatling's unconscious body as a meat shield to cover his escape. However, Bomb intercepts him and kicks him in the face toward the group of remaining monsters. Afterward, Bomb and Bang combine their martial arts against Garou. In the state of great pain, Garou remembers his miserable past as a misunderstood child being bullied. In his anger and despair, he commences a counterattack with Tank Top Master's Tank Top Blow and grabs a huge tree during the confusion, and then swings at both Bomb and Bang, making them back off. Phoenix Man suddenly appears and creates immense air pressure that launches everyone and proceeds to grab Garou in the air while calling for Elder Centipede to cover their escape. Despite Garou's protest, he can't do anything against Phoenix Man as he's being escorted to the Monster Association HQ. After being rescued by the Monster Association, Garou saw the association's captured Narinki's private squad to be put on trial and the unexpected recruitment of a mysterious G5. During the trial, a voice in his head, presumably Psychos, tells him to remain low profile until the trial's over. Once the trial's over, Does takes in the brainwashed captured private squad for the Monster Association's usefulness. Royal Ripper senses Garou's scent and tells him to now reveal himself. Later, Garou speaks with Gyoro and the rest of the association's members, as well as its leader Orochi, who promotes Garou as one of the executive members of the association and sends him to murder Hero in one day without hesitation in order to prove that he's a real monster. Unaware to Garou, Gyoro sends Royal Ripper and Bug God to keep an eye on him should he fail. A new group agrees with the monster outbreak. They attempt to capture a citizen for disagreeing with their ideology, but bump into Garou. Unfortunately for them, Garou knocks them out with a flick before heading to a nearby restaurant. Garou eats everything on the menu before dashing out. Later, Garou scares some boys who are bullying Tario. Tario thanks Garou for his heroism, to which Garou is disgusted by. Soon enough, Saitama catches up to Garou and lets Garou off with a warning. This severely angers Garou, thinking that heroes have started to take pity on him. He resolves to carry out his task by bringing back Saitama's head, but Saitama accidentally punches Garou, knocking him out. Sometime later, Garou wakes up and asks Tario who the hero was. Immediately after, Bug God and Royal Ripper confront Garou for not seeming like a monster. Royal Ripper approaches Tario, to which Garou tells him to back off. Garou is seen assuming a stance in front of Tario and forming a fist as Bug God and Royal Ripper approach the pair. Royal Ripper reveals that Gyoro had sent him and Bug God to follow and monitor Garou. After observing his behavior, they now have doubts about Garou's intent, questioning whether if he was a true monster or not. Garou then proceeds to provoke Royal Ripper to little use, as the latter then demands the former to kill Tario. Garou then inquires about the reasoning behind the request, to which Bug God replies that one must leave behind what makes him human in order to qualify as a monster. Royal Ripper reaffirms this statement and continues, adding the fact that Garou might not be the best candidate after being defeated by Saitama. Garou then proceeds to tell Tario to go home, but he's unable to do so because of fear. Due to this, Tadao is berated by Garou, who then forces the hero catalog out of his hand, saying that the boy needs to get stronger during times like these. While doing so, Royal Ripper attacks Tadao. The attack is quickly stopped by Garou, who hoisted Royal Ripper up in the air by his blades and swiftly delivered a kick to his opponent's abdomen. Royal Ripper then flies into the air as a result, but is quick to get back on his feet by thrusting his blades into the ground and performing a somersault with the two blades acting as anchoring points. The move severely disfigures his arms, but Royal Ripper restores his limbs back to their original state by twisting them back. Then Garou yells at Tadao, telling him to run. The boy complies and is seen dashing away. As he's doing so, Royal Ripper announces Garou to be an enemy. Garou then assumes a stance as the two monsters charge at him. As the two monsters charge, Garou delivers a punch towards Bug God's torso. Unfortunately, this injures his own hand. Royal Ripper then performs a chain of frenzied slashes aimed at Garou, but they're all dodged or reflected. As Garou is busy with Royal Ripper's chain of attacks, Bug God approaches him from behind, but is bombarded with a flurry of deflected slashes originating from Royal Ripper. The monster is undeterred by this, as he quickly pounds Garou into the ground and then flings him onto electrical cables which briefly electrocute Garou. Garou immediately rebounds himself towards the two monsters as they leap towards him. The three eventually enter a stalemate, with Garou now confident in his abilities to defeat his opponents, while the pair of monsters declare to go all out. Garou is clearly not discouraged by this, even going on to say that he's seen everything they have to offer and will not be hit by them again. It then transpires that Tadao was captured by sludge jellyfish. Garou is briefly distracted by this occurrence, so Royal Ripper brutally slashes him in the back and is subsequently struck in the torso by Bug God before ultimately being assailed with a series of slashes, leaving him in a pool of blood. Bug God quickly puts a stop to the assault, explaining that Garou should be left alive. Royal Ripper ceases attacking, but declares that it might be too late for Garou. He then invites Tadao back home with an eerie grin, saying that they'll be great friends. After a while, Garou wakes up and is perplexed upon what happened at first, before recalling fighting and being defeated by Royal Ripper and Bug God. He also realizes that Tadao was kidnapped by the monsters, but brushes it aside while wondering how he managed to heal himself. Upon recovering, Garou then proceeds to the Monster Association HQ while also seemingly undergoing a change in his body. Much later, Garou breaks into the facility just in time to save Tadao from Royal Ripper. Despite being stabbed in the gut by the monster, Garou punches Royal Ripper's head off with one blow, killing him in the process before using the Whirlwind Iron Cutting Fist to shred the monster to pieces. He and Tadao then make their escape, only to encounter two monsters who were quickly dispatched by Garou. The hero hunter devours one of the limbs of the monsters to replenish himself before proceeding with Tadao. As they make their escape, Tadao tells him that there's another child that's in need of rescuing, but that's not Garou's concern, and he didn't come here to save Tadao either. However, before the two can continue, they're confronted by overgrown Rover. He and Tadao manage to not provoke Rover, but they encounter Super Mouse, Showerhead, and Unihorn. While he manages to hold his own, the monsters accidentally injure Rover, and he proceeds to attack them. Garou fights Rover and is knocked through the roof to where Gyoro resides. There, Gyoro restrains Garou with her psychic powers and tells him that she wants to raise Garou into the most powerful monster through a special nurturing process. Garou denies it and begins to resist the psychic powers, a confrontation in which he manages to outmaneuver around all of her psychic powers at first, declaring that he'll hunt Gyoro, and with the brain of the Monster Association gone, it'll naturally collapse on itself. Seeing the need for aid, Gyoro enlists Orochi's intervention, grabbing Garou and crushing him. They battle, and Garou uses Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist to defend himself. Garou is pierced, scorched, punched, and thrown across the room. Garou proclaims that Orochi is not a true monster as he's missing one vital component: fear. Garou feels no fear from him and moves to his fighting stance. Orochi copies him, and through their battle, Orochi has learned Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist. Garou mocks him, and they battle once more, only for Garou to be knocked unconscious. Soon after his defeat at the hands of Orochi, Garou was imprisoned in chains much deeper within the Monster Association's hideout. Puri Prisoner, while burrowing through the underground base, stumbled upon Garou. Thinking he was a hostage of some sort, he moved to release him, only for Garou to suddenly stir. Garou then broke his chains and brutally attacked the S-Class hero, and the former of the two realized how hideously outclassed he was as the imprisoned Garou awoke. Puri Prisoner deeply regretted awakening such a powerful and dangerous individual as the hero hunter hearkened his wrathful howl. After defeating Puri Prisoner with ease, Garou's transformation into a monster accelerates immensely. He then observes as Super Alloy Darkshine finds Puri Prisoner and vows to defeat Garou for him, and the two begin to fight. Upon sustaining a fierce blow from Darkshine, Garou snaps out of his blind rage and comes to his senses. He wonders where Orochi is and if Tadao managed to escape. Darkshine gives Garou a chance to surrender and join the Hero Association, but Garou refuses. Disappointed, Darkshine hits Garou with an attack he's incapable of blocking, launching the Hero Hunter through several walls and breaking all of his ribs. However, Garou still stands back up and begins taunting and mentally attacking Darkshine as he continues his onslaught of blows. Darkshine realizes Garou is moving faster and faster, and fear suddenly enters his heart. He counters with a brutal punch, but Garou manages to block the attack. As the Hero Hunter continues his brutal assault, Darkshine comments in his own mind that Garou's speed isn't the only thing that's being magnified. His physical power has been steadily climbing too. As if a testament to such claims, the next series of blows launched at the S-Class hero not only knocked him clean through several walls into an open space, but even powderized the area around Darkshine on his way through. Realizing that the former had only used him to further galvanize his martial arts, Darkshine would shakily rise again as the Hero Hunter moved to prey upon some more, taunting the physically robust Paragon about putting a stop to his monster play. The two titans would continue their battle, only this time with the hero on the losing end of their conflict. With his defenses waning bit by bit and means of assault cut off before such a savage barrage, Darkshine was quickly finding himself to be heavily outclassed by the tenacious rogue. So much so that his one great design in life, of fighting an opponent whom could make him go all out and acquire gratifying victory from such a battle, quickly turned into a nightmare. With his opponent's confidence destroyed, Garou moved in to deliver a final blow on his enemy. After seeing his fearful and quavering expression in the midst of such action, the human monster refrained from it. And that's because the terrified hero's debilitated state reminded him of the times he himself had been demoralized in such a manner. Backing off on his assault after parrying the weak counterattack by the shaken adversary, Garou ruminated on his own desires of becoming the ultimate monster for a brief period before his own body began to cave in due to his abrupt monsterization taking effect. Just as Super Alloy Darkshine moved in to check up on his pained assailant, concerned for his well-being, a psychokinetic barrier forms around Darkshine just as the makeshift arena the opposing duo were fighting in started to collapse around them. Although the hero was lifted away to safety at the last minute, Garou, whom was still paralyzed with pain from his last bout and subsequent metamorphosis, was left behind as the underground structure crumbled away on top of him. In the end, Garou defeats Darkshine just in time for Tatsumaki to begin to rip the Monster Association headquarters out of the ground with everyone inside it. Garou is later seen wandering around the rubble of the Monster Association building, finally feeling the full effect of the injuries he had received, and wonders to himself if this is the way he actually wanted to die. Garou fully awakened. Garou finally emerges from the rubble near Fubuki, who had just defeated Psychos and was shocked by his appearance. He had almost finished transforming into a monster and claimed that he was going to be responsible for the ominous future that had driven Psychos insane, proclaiming himself to be a disaster-level god. After dealing with Fubuki, Garou rips through Black Sperm, reducing him to a single cell in order to get him away from Tadao. He also dealt a mighty blow to the surprised Golden Sperm's face. Garou and Golden Sperm then had a battle that was too fast for any of the heroes present to follow, resulting in the death of Golden Sperm and Garou completing his transformation into a monster. And if you're wondering why the names Black Sperm and Golden Sperm don't bother me at all, it's because it was in the script that I just read, which was The Life of Tatsumaki. Anyway, excited by his victory, Garou begins to pummel the rest of the heroes present, quickly defeating them all with ease. Zombie Man was the only hero able to stand long enough to speak to him, so Garou briefly explained his motivations to him. He also claimed to have developed a new technique of martial art known as Monster Calamity Godslayer Fist. Puri Prisoner emerged from the rubble with Darkshine and Saitama, but Garou ignored Saitama's attempts to intervene and continued to fight the other heroes. Amused by their inability to fight back, Garou then proclaimed that he was going to kill Tadao and challenged them to stop him. Zombie Man was the only one who stood in his way and could do nothing but get torn to shreds by the human monster. Suddenly, evil natural water appeared, having been attracted to the scene by the emotions of those there and threatening to finish off the heroes, so Garou let it have its way. However, it's blasted into droplets by Saitama in an instant, and he asks Garou who he is. Garou attacks Saitama, surprised when he finds he can keep up so easily. The two fought, and despite his best efforts, the human monster found that he couldn't defeat the caped Baldy, growing increasingly frustrated over the course of the battle. Saitama not only beat him physically, but mentally, as he forced him to realize that he never wanted to be a villain, but a hero. Saitama came to this conclusion because, despite being easily able to do so, Garou didn't kill any of the heroes that he fought, as well as the fact that Garou stated that he wanted to create world peace through people's fear and hatred of Garou the monster. Many of the present heroes had gotten back up by this point and demanded that Saitama kill Garou, but the caped Baldy refused their request, stating that Garou was still human. However, he found that he no longer wanted to live, having lost all purpose in life. The other heroes decided to kill Garou themselves, only for Bang to step in. He started beating Garou while scolding him for choosing the path in life that he did, although it was clear that his attacks were not meant to actually kill Garou, so Sweet Mass stepped in to kill Garou himself. He was interrupted by Tadeo, who grabbed his leg and told him that Garou saved him twice in the past, while the heroes couldn't even save him once. Seeing this, Garou was inspired to continue living and ran away, moving so quickly that only Saitama was able to see where he went. Neo Heroes Introduction Arc. While walking around the final training ground, King stumbled upon Garou deep in meditation under a waterfall. Startled, King hid himself, but Garou had already sensed his presence and opened his eyes. Neo Heroes Uprising Arc. Later on, the hero hunter is spotted by Suiryu and his Neo Heroes group moving boxes for a company. After loading the last box onto a truck, Garou receives praise from his superior, who offers to buy him a meal to congratulate him on a hard day's work. Garou turns down his offer, but then is immediately shot with numerous tranquilizer darts by the band of Neo Heroes, who thinks they had managed to incapacitate him. However, Garou actually caught all of the darts before they hit him. The Neo Heroes, barring Suiryu, then decide to rush at him with their power suits, only for the ex-hero hunter to swiftly defeat all of them. Impressed, Suiryu steps up to challenge Garou. The two engage in combat, during which Suiryu throws the truck belonging to Garou's employers at him. He then causes the truck to explode point-blank in Garou's face with a single punch, but Garou is left unscathed. Sensing that Garou is not even using half of his full strength, Suiryu decides to put his new battlesuit to the test. Against the added power of Suiryu's battle armor, Garou holds his own. Suiryu notices that Garou had been observing his technique and has even started to match it, and realized that he would soon overwhelm him, so he tests out his suit's limiter release. Garou himself quickly becomes overwhelmed by Suiryu's increased speed, but the battlesuit causes Suiryu to lose control over his own attacks. He proceeds to pummel Garou into the ground, only stopping after the suit malfunctions and breaks down. Thinking he had accidentally killed him, Suiryu is shocked when Garou rises from the ground, only slightly injured. As the two square up once more, Garou's superior runs out of hiding, shouting about his truck. The superior laments having ever hired Garou and shouts at Suiryu to capture him. With his suit destroyed, Suiryu is left open and vulnerable, but a disheartened Garou walks away instead of continuing the fight. Personality. Garou is introduced as an antagonist with a confident, vindictive characterization driven by a deep hatred for heroes. He hates being insulted and will attack anyone who offends him. He thinks highly of himself and uses that assertion to threaten high-ranking personnel such as heroes and Sitch. He will also attack low-ranked heroes and Hero Association staff members if he encounters them. Garou hates those who are popular, as he believes the popular ones will always win in the end. This is because as a child, he had no friends and the popular children at school enjoyed abusing him both physically and verbally, particularly a boy named Tachan. They forced him to play heroes where Tachan, Justice Man, would beat up Garou, the monster. Garou noticed how everyone liked Tachan but hated him. After watching his life repeat over and over again on the basis of the Justice Man TV show, he grew a distaste of heroes in general and believed that in the end, the majority will want him dead. However, this mentality also leads him to have a soft spot for victims, even his enemies. This is seen when fighting Super Alloy Darkshine. When he begins attacking the hero's ears, he recalls moments when he and Tadeo were bullied in a similar fashion and stops his attack. Although Garou is a villain and considered evil by most, he possesses a sense of morality. He fights heroes in a way without killing them, but he's okay with others killing heroes. He has a soft spot for children, as shown when he converses with Tadeo in the park, or when he stops fighting Metal Bat after Zenko shows up. When Tadeo calls him Mister after Garou told him not to, he doesn't get angry at the child. Later, he rescues and protects the boy from the Monster Association, even risking his own life to do so. In some ways, Garou can be considered a foil to Saitama. Both of them have their own strong sense of honor and justice, albeit manifested in different ways. While Saitama wanted to be like a hero from his childhood who fought villains, Garou wants to be a monster who defeats heroes. While Garou is a genius fighter and a prodigious martial artist, Saitama fights through improvisation, with no tactics and a rudimentary fighting technique. Furthermore, Garou can enjoy the feeling of losing in order to improve himself and become stronger in most of his fights, while Saitama desires to find a worthy opponent to get the rush of excitement he once had while he was training. In battle, Garou is very ignorant, often mocking his opponents and calling them amateurs. He derided Death Gatling and the group of A and B class heroes he assembled, calling them all pathetically weak and that despite their smart idea of ganging up on him together, they were still nothing in comparison to S-class heroes. Despite this, he does give credit to his opponents when it's due, as seen when he commented on Glass's endurance throughout their battle. He's very observant in and before battle, always preparing himself to combat his opponents, and never fighting without prior knowledge. An example of this is when the group of A and B class heroes assembled by Death Gatling arrive to take him to the Hero Association. When he sees them, he asks Tadao if he could look through his Hero Association book with all of the heroes' listed powers, weapons, ranks, and abilities. He uses this to make sure he avoids the attacks that would inflict great damage upon him, specifically Shooter's poisonous arrows. Garou is also shown to have a massive appetite, especially during his gradual transformation into a monster. He seems to especially favor drinking Coke, expressing his desire to have one while enduring Overgrown Rover's energy blasts and being shown holding a bottle of Coke in official artwork by Murata. That's the artist, by the way. Garou intends to change the world through absolute evil. He views justice as being biased and unfair, seeing it as people doing evil things to others they deem evil and getting praised for it, whereas absolute evil is unbiased and fair, affecting everyone the same way. Garou wants to become the fairy tale-like monster that everyone fears so that they're forced to unite against him to survive. By doing so, he aspires to end conflict and war and achieve world peace. Garou wants to become a monster as explored through his title The Human Monster. However, his vision of a monster is an absolute existence that doesn't belong to anyone and is a symbol of fear to all, not a mass murderer. As a result, he's disgusted by the monsters in the Monster Association as they do not follow his monster policy. Although Garou has no qualms about killing monsters, he never kills a single human. The Monster Association notices this, which leads to them betraying him. Saitama also notices this when Garou is going easy on the S-class heroes, and also when Garou is faking a threat to kill Tadao while actually moving away from the kid. When it's their turn to fight, Garou's attacks are only meant to injure Saitama so he would stop being a hero, not to kill. This prompts Saitama to call Garou soft and not serious. According to Saitama's diagnosis of his character, Garou actually wants to be a hero but decides on a much easier role of a monster. After hearing this diagnosis, Garou's monster persona shatters, and he's left not knowing what to do. He even accepts death, but his will to live returns after hearing Tadao tell everyone how he saved the boy's life twice. After escaping, Garou gives up on his former goals and adopts a much calmer and more restrained mindset, deciding to work at a part-time moving gig. When attacked by Suryu and his squad, Garou only defends himself to the extent necessary and walks away after the situation is diffused. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, just like all of these other One Punch Man videos I've voiced. And make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Thank you for watching. I'm Adrian. I'm out.